Hello, today we're going to learn how to do navigation in the graphical user interface. Typically, to navigate, we need a number of pages. In this case, we're going to first switch to a control page by selecting 640 by 480. And we need to do a couple of other things. Number one, in graphical user interface tab, we need to say align with the startup page. So that will make sure that when all the pages are displayed, they're all displayed in the same position on the screen. After we apply this, I'm going to say OK. And now we're going to create 4 more pages. Right-click on the empty page and click Add New Page. And in this case, we're going to have 4. And we're going to duplicate the current format. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. The last page is going to be our template page. So we're going to go ahead and right-click on the tab. It's going to ask us for the name, and we're going to put template. We're also going to click on this letter T button that sets this as a template page. Once this is done, we're going to go to each of the pages, page 1, and apply that template to this page. So now we have 4 pages with the template set as a template. Okay. Let's go ahead and identify the page. So I'm going to put a text on the middle of it, and we're going to call this home. Let's do, yeah, that's good. And let's make it yellow. Copy paste. Let's go to page 2. Let's call this audio. And we'll make it green. And go to page 3. Let's call this video. And make it blue. And to page 4, let's call this control. And make this gray. Alright, to see all the pages, we can click on the multi-page views. And we can see we have home, audio, video, control, and the template page. Let's go ahead and return to the normal view. Now we're going to go to template page. Make it a little bit smaller and create a button on the bottom left corner. And this button is going to be called home. Double click on it and type home. It will automatically populate everything. And we need to change the font. Let's change it to 12. It's a little bit too small, so let's go ahead and increase it so it's about 23. Alright, so we got the home. And let's go to properties of this button by selecting the button and then pressing shortcut B as in boy. And in properties we're going to call it nav button. And let's set the array index to 1 because we're going to have 4 buttons. So this is going to be button 1 of nav buttons. And we also need to set the triggers to be the same as a button name. It doesn't have to be, but it's easier to navigate later on. So trigger name, do you want to rename the trigger? Yes. So now you can see nav button here and nav button plus click, nav button plus down and so forth. Okay. Click OK. And now we're going to copy and paste this 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll put the right button all the way to the right. Select all 4 buttons and then right click and then align. We can align them vertically so they're centered, and also we spread them or distribute them horizontally. And this is done. So the last thing is to use shortcut U to lock them in place. As you can see, the little cursor turned to be to have a little lock on it. That means if I press each button, it has a gray handles here. That means I cannot move these buttons, so they're locked in place. Double click here and let's call this audio. First we'll clear the text and then audio. The next one, double click, clear the text and call it video. Next one, double click, clear the text and call it control. So now we have 4 buttons: home, audio, video, control. Clicking on home button and pressing shortcut B, we can set this as exclusive mode, so there only one button is down at any given time, and the very first button, which is our home, is down. So you can see this button is down, the other 3 are up. Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is to actually connect the code to these buttons. To connect the code, we can go to Properties, and we're going to say on click and check it right here. Add procedure to code. Are you sure you want to add procedure? Yes. So now the procedure is added. F11 shortcut, or you can go View, Show Code Windows, or F11 will display the code window, and you can see there is a procedure. Nav button. What happens when you go on click? That's where you go. So we're going to insert the code for the case statement. Remove the last two if else because we don't need it, and copy these three. Okay. So what this code says, that when the button is pressed, go to this subroutine. Look at the index of the button. Remember that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And depending on the index, execute different subroutines. So this 1, 2, let's change this to 3. And let's change that to 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Inside we're going to have a single statement, app, which is